Welcome back to another video. Today we are in the Open Great League, and we have a kind of an A, B, and C team. So we have a Sableye protected by Azumarill with a Noctowl. We get switched out into the Lickitung, so we're going to switch into the Noctowl. A pretty good counter to the Lickitung. We resist the fast moves, and we're only going to be taking body slams here. The body slams do chip away, but more importantly, Noctowl is pretty tanky, so they should be able to handle it. So we're going to try our best to farm up as much energy as possible, but also leaving this Noctowl as low health as possible. So here we're going to have to tank the move and looking to farm down, and that's exactly what we do. So job well done right there. The Sand Sledge comes in, and we're going to have to throw this Shadow Ball. They actually tank it. And we're trying to get to another move, and unfortunately we get farmed down. So that's a huge farm down by my opponent right there. Here we know that we can let whatever go, we can survive it. And we're actually looking to farm down at this point because they're staying in. We know that we can take another drill run, so that's no problem. And they know that it's over. So GG's to our opponent right there. Unfortunately for them, just a little bit too much bulk. So Sableye running traditional moves, Azumarill running Bubble, Play Rough, and Hydro Pump. So here we kind of have a neutral matchup. Lantern decides to switch out. We're going to switch into the Azumarill, our only counter to this. So Carbink right here, we're going to have to let this Rock Slide go through. We knew that it wasn't a Moonblast. Here we can comfortably go for Play Roughs because we're doing super effective bubbles, and plus we actually want this Azumarill kind of low so we don't get farmed down. And also, we figured that we could possibly... Oh, never mind. I thought we were going to be able to farm it down, but they decided to switch out into the Lantern. They throw the Thunderbolt, which is huge for them because now they potentially could farm down. Here, we're going to go for the return because we only have time for one move. And they actually double shield. So that's a very interesting play that just happened. We're going to come back in with the Azumarill. We are going to force them to use some energy. We're going to get off this Play Rough. Hopefully it's a good amount of damage so that the Noctowl can farm. But right now it's looking very tough. We're going to have to shield here just to preserve the health. And we're going to farm down that Carbink. Now we're going to take out this Lantern with this Shadow Ball. We were debating to go with the Sky Attack, but we wanted to get rid of it as soon as possible. Here we have the Noctowl running the Sky Attack here. If this is Psychic, we lose. It's only Ice Punch. Oh, we were one fast move away from getting to another Sky Attack, so well played by my opponent right there. Unable to get to two Sky Attacks back at the end right there to win the game. I guess we should have farmed a tad bit more. We should have farmed a tad bit more when we had the Noctowl versus the Lantern. But hindsight is 2020. So here we go again. We're gonna be running into the Lantern. We wait for them to throw a move. Ends up being the Surf. So we did call that bait this time. This time they have to think about shielding now because they actually CMP tied on our next foul play. So they actually just let it go. And now they come in with the Sableye. We know the Sableye is Shadow, so it does not have return. This is definitely a power gem, but we're able to handle it. Luckily, this Noctowl is resisting the fast move, so we're actually okay letting that power gem go through. And we're actually debating whether to farm this down. Is it able to farm down? No, not able to farm down, so we're going to throw another Sky Attack here. This Sableye did some good work. So our opponent ends up having a Trevenant in the back, so we immediately switch out to our Azumarill because number one, we don't want them to farm us, and number two, we want them to think about whether we have an Ice Beam or not. Clearly we don't, but as you can see there, we do get a shield. And then here we're going to be able to get to another Play Rough. Play Rough does a good amount of neutral damage, surprisingly. So we force out some energy from this Trevenant here, and since we have a shield, we know that we don't have to throw a move and we are able to farm it down. So who knows, if we would have stayed in with the Noctowl, maybe they would have been able to farm us down. So that's why we had to switch out immediately right there. Next game, let's see if we can continue the good streak. Here we have Sableye versus the Gligar. I guess we can stay in here because we don't have a clear answer to this Gligar, and we know that we can tank one move. Ends up being the Dig. We're going to throw the Play Rough here. Potentially could have been Return, but they decided to let it go. Here, we're going to have to tank a move, so we're just going to soak up the Aero Ace. Our opponent ends up having a Jellicent in the back. This is most likely a Shadow Ball, but we're going to let it go. And then we're going to throw this Play Rough here. It's only neutral damage. As you can see, probably like 20%. Here, we have to decide whether we want to shield or not. We do shield a Shadow Ball, which is great, but our opponent ends up being able to tank it, so that was a little bit unfortunate. Here we're going to have to tank this Shadow Ball, unfortunately. And now we just have to hope that our Noctowl in the back is able to clean up, because we know that this Gligar is still here. We know that this is Aero Ace. We're going to try to farm it down, but they don't allow us to get there. And we are met with a Medicham here. This Medicham here is pretty tanky and does have 2 shields. We're going to have to invest a shield here regardless of what they throw. We get to 1 Sky Attack right here, and we're trying to get to another one before they get to their move. But unfortunately, they're able to get to their next Ice Punch here before we can get to a move. Here, we're going to throw this Foul Play. It does not KO. And unfortunately, we're not able to farm down for a potential KO in the back right there. So a little bit unfortunate. The Gligar ended up coming in clutch with them. All those extra Aero Aces did add up. So maybe we should have invested shields back there, but it's kind of hard to tell in the lead. So here we have the Mirror Sableye matchup here. This Mirror Sableye matchup is always kind of weird because we don't really know whether we want a double shield or 1 shield, but we did find out that we won CMP. So that's why we were waiting here, because we were anticipating them switching out, but they actually threw a move and then swapped out. So they're able to catch our Foul Play there. So a little bit unlucky right there. But we do have a Mirror Azumarill with a little bit of a health advantage. So our opponent actually ends up using their shield early, which is interesting because either their entire team is vulnerable to this Azumarill, or they're trying to keep this Azumarill healthy enough so that they can switch out later. So we decided to shield here. We're waiting for them to switch out. They actually end up going into their Sableye, so we're going to switch into our Noctowl to soak up a return. And then now we're going to try to farm down, but we don't have enough time to farm down. We throw this Sky Attack to get rid of this Sableye. Oh, so they had a Fire type in the back here. So here we're going to have to throw in optimal timing. This first Sky Attack goes through pretty easily. And then here they have to throw a move here to take us out. Now we have a decision to make. We're going to come in with our Azumarill. We're not going to throw immediately. They switch into the Azumarill. We throw in our own Play Rough. We're waiting for them to throw a move, and we catch the perfect Play Rough. This Play Rough does take out the Sableye, and we just can farm down here. We have a Hydro Pump ready. We're going to throw it right at this Talonflame, and that's just juice. So we basically have the same core except for the back. They have the Talonflame while we have the Noctowl. So check out this team if you haven't already, and let us know if you enjoyed the video.